Kirk, you've created or co-created Boise Trails. Tell us about that.
Sure. Boise Trails is an organization that runs a website and an annual challenge. The website is boisetrails.com, and it's a place where folks can go on and update trail conditions every day. So there's a map with our own recommendations on what are good trails for hikers with kids, bikers, etc. You can read those, but you can also just put the daily update. I rode today, but there was a tree in the way, or there's a mud puddle, or you shouldn't use this trail yet, or because the snow is still melting. Those kind of things.
That's great. Fallen tree, storm just came through. Somebody discovers it. They can post it and share it. That's fantastic. Okay, so a lot of people getting outdoors right now. We will probably all the way to the end of the year because snow does not keep people off of trails. Give some advice, though, for those who may be new to hitting the trails. Let's start with hiking. Where's a good place to begin here in the Treasure Valley?
Sure. I like to hike with my kids, and one thing I've found is that they love to have a destination. They don't like to just hike on a endless trail that goes nowhere. They want to get to somewhere. And so for me, a really short hike that's good with kids or for beginners is the Elephant Rock hike. It's right behind downtown. It's in Military Reserve, and it just goes up to this rock that's kind of shaped like an elephant, and the kids can climb on it. And then when you get down to the bottom, there's a creek, so they can splash in the creek. They really enjoy that. There's another one over by Table Rock it used to be called Castle Rock, but it's also a short hike that goes up to a nice overlook, and it's only less than 2 miles round trip. And so you might end up carrying them a little on your shoulders by the top, but it's a good one because they get to something and they feel a sense of accomplishment.
Some great points right there. I love that. I also think too, adults appreciate a little bit of a payoff as well, right? You have to have a good view or something to take that selfie and show your friends that, hey, look, it's a rock that looks like an elephant. I'd appreciate that. And also, Kirk, though, too, because while you do like to hike with your young ones, you're an avid mountain biker. I know that there's a lot of traffic on the trails recently with everyone getting outdoors. So let's talk about some great trails to access. And then I also want to talk about trail etiquette.
Sure. Well, right now, the name of the game is to get up into the trees. In the early season, before the snow melts off the top, there's a lot more traffic down in the lower foothills. But right now, everyone's wanting to go up where there's shade, which is near Bogus Basin and the new Stack Rock, or the Stack Rock area, including the new Stack Rock connector. So those are some great trails to hit right now. Another great one is Dry Creek and Shingle Creek, which you can make into a loop, and it's a little bit lower down on Bogus Basin Road, so it's not quite as long of a drive, and it's just a beautiful loop. But you're right, the traffic has been a lot right now. It's basically the only thing open, and just with the growth in the valley, it's exploded. The trail use has exploded over the last few years. And so it is important, including with the COVID considerations, to use good etiquette. The main rules are, first of all, obviously be nice and smile and let people know you're there. For bikers, I think there's a tendency to want to go too fast on trails with a lot of blind corners. You should avoid that, because no matter what good intentions you have, if you're going too fast and you can't see, you can get you into trouble. There's plenty of trails with wide open sight lines in our foothills that you can go really fast, but not all of them are suited to that. And then the basic rules are, the bikers should yield to hikers, and downhill bikers should yield to uphill bikers. With COVID, people have been a little unsure how to do the passing on with each other, because normally you kind of just brush right by each other, and people are trying to keep more distance. And the recommendations from the trail organizations have been that you should not try to make a long loop through the grass or through the trees, but to just walk directly off to the side and give the person space who's passing.
Ooh, great advice right there. I'm so glad you addressed that. Also, what about those that bring dogs on trails? I know some trails allow off-leash animals and some trails don't allow animals at all, but can you speak to those ones that do allow those animals to be present?
Yes. There's the Ridge Rivers website, as well as our own website, boisetrails.com, they specify which ones are dog on leash and which ones are dog off leash. So that can give you the breakdown of where's a good place to go. Generally speaking, the further up you get in the foothills, the more, the better time you'll have with the dog, because it can run a little more free and you won't have to worry about quite as many people. The rules around that are, you should have your dog under control, even if it's off leash. And, plenty of people do a great job with that. And I think especially, like I said, as you get higher up in the foothills, further away from downtown, there's plenty of great trails for the dogs to run around.
Great. Kirk, you have been such a wonderful resource, and I'm inspired to get out there and hit those trails. I know another great place for people to go to get that inspiration is your Instagram account. Where can our viewers go to learn more?
Sure. Our Instagram account is at Boise Trail Pics, and so we post pictures almost daily there of just the trails we're riding, and hopefully those are a good preview for people who haven't done all those trails to see what they might want to try out.